Alright, so we are now at the boathouse thingamabob. Whatever. Um, so, eventually, Snape and Voldemort are talking. Voldemort says, wand's not working, and the normal stuff. They're keeping to the book at this point. And then he attacks Snape, tells Nagini to kill, which she doesn't kill instantly. She decides to bite him a few times, and he dies slowly. And then eventually, Harry comes in, and of course, there's no cloak here. They're all hiding behind the glass. Voldemort can no longer see behind glass. Whatever. So anyway, so they come up to Snape. They get the memories from him through his tears. I don't remember it being his tears. I don't know. Whatever. And then he dies, and then Voldemort talks to them all, saying, "Oh, you've died, blah blah blah, or you've had people die for you, blah blah blah." They go to the castle. They see Fred is dead. So I might have gotten to that part early. My bad. They see Fred is dead. They see a bunch of people are dead. Tonks and Lupin, blah blah blah. He goes and checks out the memory. The memory thing actually did pretty good. I liked it. There were a couple of parts from the book that weren't there, but otherwise it was very well done. I don't think there's any more they could have done with it. I don't know. It was really well done. I give the movie props on that. I was waiting for this part. I really was. I was waiting to see how much was put into it, if they did the whole thing or if they left parts out. And they did. They left parts out, but it was amazingly done. So props to them. And of course, Harry pops out of it, realizing that he has to sacrifice himself. He has to die. So eventually he goes off, and this part was a little bit strange. Ron and Hermione didn't know where he went, and they're like, "Oh, we thought you already went to the forest or something." He's like, "Nope, I'm doing that now," and they're like, "You can't do it," blah blah blah. And Hermione's like, "What do you know that we don't?" And he's like, he's like, I've always known it, or I think I've always known it because he could always hear the Horcruxes. I don't remember him able to ever hear the Horcruxes. Like in the movie, obviously, every time when he's looking for it, he can hear a little ringing or whatever it is. I don't remember that in the book. But obviously, he's got part of Voldemort's soul in him, and apparently Ron and Hermione realize that magically. So off he goes, and wow, this is actually long here. So he goes off into the forest. He used the Resurrection Stone, talks with his mom, his dad, Lupin, Sirius. And they got most of the lines in there of, does it hurt? Dying? Not at all. They got most of the lines in there from the ghost thing. Annoyingly, he drops the stone instantly. In the book, he keeps him with him until he, appears before Voldemort, and that's when he drops it. That's what I thought anyway. But no, he just drops it here, and eventually appears before him. Voldemort kills him, and they go off into the magicalness of wherever the fuck they go. I guess it's purgatory, I'm not real sure. This was a scene, again, I was waiting for this scene big time, because this is where we see the little curled up child thing, which I guess is supposed to be, from what the movie said, from the way Dumbledore said it in the movie, I'm not sure anymore, but the thing under the seat, or the whatever it was, it's curled up. Like, imagine Voldemort from the fourth movie, that little babe-looking thing. Imagine that, but red, because it's all bloody. That's about what you get. It's pretty disgusting looking, to be honest with you. And the way Dumbledore said it was that was the part of the soul that was in Harry. So that wasn't Voldemort himself, that was just part of his soul that was in Harry. And since, I don't know, whatever. So then the scene of Dumbledore and Harry are talking. It went pretty well. There's lots of stuff missed, obviously, but they couldn't continue it forever. And then we go back, and, what's-her-name goes and checks to see if he's dead. She says that he is, and they go off to Hogwarts. And this is where the movie kind of takes a turn and decides to do whatever it wants, which wasn't too happy with, but let's continue on. So they bring Harry in. Voldemort's like, ah ha 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 ha, killed him. Harry's dead, and everyone's like, no, I can't believe it. And Neville's got the Sorting Hat with him for whatever reason, and he's just sitting there chatting it up with Voldemort, and then he eventually pulls out the sword, and Harry rolls out of Hagrid's arms and decides to run for it. Because that's what happened in the book, right? No, fuck that. What happened in the book was that the centaurs and Grop, they all come out to attack, and Neville pops out with the sword eventually, and within all the confusion, Harry is able to, I think he was already he was at the ground at this point because Hagrid put him in front of Voldemort, and eventually pulls out his invisibility cloak and puts it around him, and the movie just said fuck that, and I was very annoyed with that, but anyway, with the book, Harry's sitting there with under the cloak, hitting all of the Death Eaters he can, and eventually they come upon the two battles in the Great Hall. Bellatrix is fighting off, I'm trying to remember here, Ginny, Luna, and someone else, and eventually Molly Weasley comes in and starts fighting Bellatrix, and Voldemort's fighting off three teachers, Slughorn, McGonagall, and... no, I think it's two teachers, and then Kingsley, I want to say. And eventually Molly kills off... this is all the book, by the way. Molly kills off Bellatrix, and Dumbledore, or not Dumbledore, and then Voldemort's about to turn his wand on her when Harry does a shield charm, and then he pops out of nowhere, and they start chatting it up, and Harry tells him everything he knows about the Horcruxes, about every little thing. They eventually fight, and Voldemort is killed off. Oh, I wish they would have done that in the movie. With the movie, Neville is blasted backwards because he's, Harry pops out and tries to attack the snake, doesn't kill it. And Voldemort starts attacking Harry and then eventually chases after Harry. Again, Neville is blasted backwards with the sword. Oh well. So Harry is, Voldemort chases after Harry. We have Ron and Hermione trying to take out the snake. The scene in the trailer where Harry and Voldemort, or Harry's like, oh, we're gonna end this the way it started together, and then they jump off. That actually happened. It was not a memory, or not a memory, but that wasn't a dream. That actually happened. So they're falling, and then they go off and start flying around, and they eventually go into the open courtyard area, and they're alone fighting each other, which should not have happened either. In the book, everyone was watching, which was better. So Harry and Voldemort eventually attack each other with their spells. Then we're constantly switching between them and Ron and Hermione against Nagini. This is what pisses me off. This is what pisses me off beyond belief. First, Bellatrix dies pretty quickly, and this is what annoyed me, is Molly hits her with a spell that she floats in midair, and then her skin retracts into her, so she's almost skin and bone looking. And then Molly hits her with another spell that just vaporizes her into nothingness. What? And then Ron and Hermione are cowering. Snake attacks. Neville comes out of nowhere, slices off the snake's head, and the snake turns into the same shit that Bellatrix turned into. What? Oh, and Harry and Voldemort both feel this. I don't know why Harry would, since the soul in him is gone, so he doesn't have anything of Voldemort in him anymore, but he still feels it. And then they attack each other again. Voldemort dies this time, and he starts ripping apart, and then he turns into dust. What? How? Who fucking knows? So then, yay, everyone's victorious, we win, and then Harry, Ron, and Hermione are on the bridge. I can't explain where this bridge is at, because this is the first time we've seen it from what I remember. Oh, and since it's the last 30 seconds of the movie, Harry decides now is a good time to explain why the Elder Wand didn't work for Voldemort. Yeah, they explain it all in 30 seconds to just Ron and Hermione. Super. And then Ron's like, oh, what are we going to do with the Elder Wand now? And Harry's like, oh, I'm just going to snap it in half and throw it. He throws it off into a pit. That's not how it happened. In the book, they go to Dumbledore's office. he's talking with Dumbledore because, you know, all the portraits are clapping because Harry defeated Voldemort, and Harry's talking with Dumbledore, and they talk about the invisibility cloak, they talk about the stone, how he dropped in the forest, and then he pulls out his own wand, his original wand, and repairs it, his original wand, and repairs it with the Elder Wand, and decides that if he dies of natural causes, he's just going to put the Elder Wand back where it came from, which I guess is this, which is with Dumbledore's dead body, and he keeps his regular wand. The movie says fuck that. He snaps the wand in half, throws it off, and then they all hold hands, and then we go to 19 years later. The book did it much better, obviously, and of course both of them go to 19 years later. And this scene I never really cared for. It's basically with Harry named all his kids after Albus and Snape, and you're Albus Severus Snape-ish Potter or something. I don't know, shitty names, but I don't know, whatever. And then the movie ends with the train going off, and we see Ron, Harry, Hermione, and Ginny all standing there all grown up and whatnot. And yeah, so big differences in the book and the movie. I probably missed something, but whatever at this point. But with all that in mind, great movie, amazing movie, probably the best of them all. Highly recommend going to see it. Highly recommend to see it. Go see it now. And I'm gonna go to get some sleep because I am tired. So hope you guys enjoyed these comparison stuffs, and take care.